some folks who really like, and lots of things you never heard before. Coming right up on the Cap Song Show.
So hello, Jim. How are you?
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you here.
I know you have many things to say about the Tin Can South.
Sure.
So let's start here.
Well, this is our first year to be a host for the festival. As you know, it's a 30-year, 30th anniversary of the festival that celebrates songwriters who are the backbone of the music industry here in Nashville. Nashville is a songwriter-driven town, and country music relies so heavily on craft. And so we have a great relationship with NSA, Nashville Songwriters Association. And as a restaurant, we've been feeding songwriters. We like to say we've been feeding Nashville's creative community for more than 80 years. And we have we've fed everyone from George Jones and Hank Williams Jr., who did album shoots here. Jimmy Buffett was a longtime customer when he lived in the neighborhood as an up-and-coming, struggling songwriter trying to find his voice. And so we've had that relationship with the music community for a long time. And we're not too far from Music Row either, so the proximity helps. And when we had to move from our original location right next door into this building, one of the things we thought about was putting a stage in so that we could now sort of bring the soda shop forward with some more modern amenities like the sound system and stage, and so that we can host singer-songwriters, whether on a nightly basis or for special events, and that led to us becoming one of the 9 venues for the Tin Can South celebration.
Excellent. How did you end up where you are today? What's your background?
Well, that's a sordid tale. Well, I worked for years in journalism and food journalism, but before that, I worked for a music publisher. I worked on a couple of film projects that were done here in Nashville. One was the thing called Love, about singer-songwriters, and another was a pilot for CBS that never went anywhere called X's and O's. It was the show Nashville before Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Came along. And so then I worked in music publishing, and so, you know, everyone at one point seems to work in music publishing. And then, so then when this project came along of moving the soda shop and saving it from being closed forever, having written about restaurants for 20 years, I was approached to say, do you want to be part of this project to preserve a Nashville institution? And I jumped at the chance because I love this place. I've grown up coming to the soda shop with my grandfather, and this was, you know, Nashville is changing so quickly. I mean, you've been here a couple times. You've seen the changes in your business.
Building like crazy.
And growth and development are great. It's an exciting time for Nashville. But we're cognizant of the fact that we need to save some things that make Nashville Nashville. The music, and the music, and some of the clubs, the famous clubs. I mean, if you go down to the Station Inn, one of the premier bluegrass clubs in the country, it's a little block box surrounded by hotels and high-rises and apartment complexes, and it's still there. Same thing with small restaurants like this. We're a classic meat and three, classic Southern flavored lunch restaurant, and Nashville has long been considered sort of a capital of meat and threes in the South. We're one of the cities where that style of restaurant endured as the city grew up and changed, and so we've been losing people. We said we can't do that. We can't lose another. We can't lose the soda shop. It's one of the jewels in the BET crown, and so that's how I got it.
Somebody mentioned to me that there's concern about losing the Music City, because so many medical colleges are moving in and they're starting to get inundated with doctors, surgeons, and what have you, and that it's making it more difficult to find housing and everything else.
Well, the housing issue is real, and that's going on in a lot of cities. That people who are not professionals, people who work in the hospitality industry in some way, are having a hard time finding affordable housing in the city and are having to move farther and farther out. We've always been a healthcare center. In fact, it's part of the soda shops like that. Because the largest original hospitals in the city are within blocks. So we've been feeding the medical community for a long time. Right. And also feeding the people from outlying areas who come to Nashville to see a doctor, to see a specialist. For years, there's people who coupled their trip to town with lunch at the soda shop. Right. See a doctor, and then they reward themselves, especially the ones that have blood tests done. Yeah. They have to fast or whatever, correct. And then they come in here and get a good Southern cooked meal. So, but it is true that the housing is and it is a problem for people who work in the entertainment venues downtown, restaurants, to find an affordable place to live. Yeah, sort of getting pushed out. Yeah, but the music's not going anywhere. The business is so deeply anchored here. We'll always be a music city and always be the capital for country music.
What are your plans, soda shop's plans for the future?
Well, we did something that I don't have to do, and that's reopening a restaurant right in the middle of the pandemic. Yeah, well, that's true. So we've only been open since May of 2020 in this new location. And, we're still, like everyone in this business, finding our legs. The restaurant industry was truly decimated by the pandemic. Yeah, they just had to. You can't work remotely at a restaurant. No. And so a lot of restaurants just could not survive being closed for that long. And went out of business, and a lot of people who worked in restaurants had to seek jobs in other industries. So people go, why is there this crisis of finding people to work? It's not because people don't want to work. It's because people just found jobs in other areas, right? And they didn't come back. So, but our plans are as we continue to grow, as tourism starts to pick up again. We speak closely with the National Convention and Visitors Bureau. We speak closely with the hotels around here saying, how's your occupancy? And we're seeing people coming back to Nashville as a destination. And, our mission is twofold. One, we want to be the keepers of tradition. We've been feeding people for 4 generations, almost 5, something. We want to continue to serve the national community, remind them what Southern cooking is all about here. And we've got great fancy new restaurants, but we're still here. And then we want to introduce this part of Nashville visitors to say, when you come here, there's so many great things to do, but I think what most people are looking for is something that is authentic. And that's what we are. We can't get more authentic than Nashville.
Well, do you have any anecdote, something that you remember that was a humorous or heartwarming situation that happened?
Yeah, well, one of my favorite stories, and this one was, I had recounted to me, but this was published in Billboard magazine recently. So, 50 years ago, there was a struggling songwriter who lived in and back at that time, in the early 70s, it was very hard for people who were new to Nashville to get gigs playing around town. It was a very close-knit fraternity. And this songwriter would eat at the soda shop all the time. He loved to have fried chicken and our famous coconut meringue. And as he tells the story, I was sitting there and I was eating my fried chicken and coconut pie, and I asked Miss Jean, the waitress, the fiery, red-headed waitress, what's going on across the street? She goes, they're building some club over there. And that club is the Exit Inn, which is one of the most legendary clubs in the South. You can drive by there and see the names painted on the front of each plate. In fact, if you look on the back cover of the Police album, Zenyatta Mondata, Sting is wearing an Exit Inn t-shirt. Little anecdote. So he was so excited that a new place was opening that he paid his tab, ran home and got his guitar and walked over. And they were still building the stage out. That's how new this place, the Exit Inn, was. This is 1971. And he said, hi, can I play something for you? I'd love to play something. He said, sure, just go ahead and play something. He said, that's great. You want to be our opening act tonight? And he said, I'd love to. And so the kicker is that was a young Jimmy Buffett. And Jimmy Buffett became the first person to play the Exit Inn. And he eventually left Nashville. Jimmy's from Mobile, Alabama, but that was, as songwriters try to find their voice and their identity, that's where he started traveling and discovered that sort of Key Largo vibe that became so much a part of his persona and his music. So Jimmy still is a friend of the soda shop. He came back to town for a 50th anniversary show at the Exit Inn just a few months ago, and he came in here. We saw Miss Linda, who's been with us for 30 years, and he walks in just a Hawaiian shirt, and sunglasses, and a baseball cap. And he pulls his sunglasses down and looks at Miss Linda, and Miss Linda just said, I know who you are, and you can just go sit down, and I'll get to you when I'm good and ready.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, he's been a great patron and friend of the soda shop for a long time, and signed our wall of fame over there.
We got to get a picture of that.
So that's the kind of, places like this, and I think people discovered this during the pandemic, when they couldn't go out to that restaurants that are a part of the community are more than just a place to get something to eat and go. It's the relationships you have with people in the community, and they miss that. They realize that was an important part of their lives, and that the restaurants do play a role in that. And so that's what I like, is getting to know the regulars. And sometimes it's bittersweet. It's getting to know someone who, like I said, is coming to town for medical reasons, or maybe coming for chemotherapy and to get treatment. Well, you get to know them. You hug them when they come in. How's it going? How are you feeling today? And that's the true root of what hospitality is taking care of people. So that's what we do.
Thank you. I think we're going to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Jim Myers at, you can see it, the Elliston Soda Shop in the backyard. And that's why we're sitting here, right? So, yeah.
Gonna have a little fun tonight, talking with some folks who really like and lots of things you never heard before, coming right up on the Gap Songs Show.